ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, and as usual, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you tuning in from Europe, Asia, the USA, including Canada, of course, South America, the far and the near east, as they say. It's a pleasure to be with you today with what is going on in Ambazonia, Cameroon at large, and of course, talking about the struggle for the independence of the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And that is why I am here tonight. Please do me the favor, if you are joining by way of YouTube, hit that share button. Let us quickly get the platform populated. And if you are watching from Facebook, please also do me the favor, hit the share button. Let's get the numbers jumping, because I always do my homework. I make sure I do my homework before I come to you every day or every evening. I'm talking about the content of these broadcasts. I don't come to you to just entertain you. Of course, you know, television is always and almost about entertainment, but it is also more about education and information, and that is what I come to do. It is more of education and information than entertainment, but I have to make sure I always combine the two. So please do me the favor, hit that share button on Facebook, YouTube also. And thank you for those of you watching from continental Africa by way of satellite. Thank you once more for tuning in. It promises to be very, very exciting tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I will be right back in a minute. Stay tuned.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying put out there. Tonight, I will be bringing you information on what took place in Yaoundé yesterday. La République du Cameroon's Prime Minister Dion Ngute formally reviewed what the Grand National Dialogue of 2019 was all about. Also, I will be taking you to the subject of the release of Idabato D.O., Colonial Divisional Officer for Idabato, who was recently released after nearly 6 months of captivity. And the message that we get from La République du Cameroon to the effect that they not only negotiated with kidnappers, but they actually also did pay kidnappers. And of course, the lingering litigation between Tapang Ivo and Insalai. Finally, Insalai will face the court here in the USA over his frivolous lawsuits. And this and many others we're going to be talking about today. I have a powerful panel to do justice to this subject, and of course, I will open your phone calls at the end of the broadcast to hear what you think. Stay put. All right, but before I get into what happened in Yaoundé yesterday, I'd like to take you to Boué, ladies and gentlemen, where the Boué warriors, as you find on your screen, continue to do exploits, going after the invading colonial army of La République du Cameroon, not only taking them captive, but I see there, they are being stripped naked. Now, that is, as you watch these images, I'd like you to note that in Yaoundé, the message from the Prime Minister office is that no mercy is resuming. No mercy is resuming. Again, this was as early as yesterday, as you watch on your screen. La République du Cameroon Prime Minister wants the world to believe that finally no mercy is returning to Ambazonia, to the country. La République du Cameroon too, of course, they want the world to believe that. But I'd like to ask you, as you look at the image there on your screen, is that no mercy? Is that no mercy? Of course, it is not. It is not no mercy. It cannot be no mercy. It will not be no mercy. Not any day soon, not tomorrow, not next week, not in a month's time, but that is the picture of what goes on, what happens on the ground in Ambazonia. In the case you are watching there, Boué Unity warriors actually picked up two La République du Cameroon soldiers, and you can see them doing justice to them, stripping them of whatever gadget that they have there. I think we should also kudos to Boué Unity warriors for continually holding high the scepter of this revolution for the independence of Ambazonia. I don't know how John Gute, looking at what I am seeing there on my screen, can continue to want the world to believe that no mercy is returning. No mercy is not returning for the first time, actually, after I think almost a year, we also learn of attacks in Libya by the Red Dragons. Lot of shooting, I got the message, a lot of shooting in the Menji, precisely 3 corners, and where they call mission yesterday. Thanks to the Red Dragons, there can be no mercy. Only a settlement, a ceasefire can provoke no mercy for as far as we in this Ambazonia struggle are concerned. So we give all the praises to the Boué Unity warriors, ladies and gentlemen. If you are out there and you are an ardent independence supporter, please, we must support the Boué Unity warriors with all that we have. This is the team that has demonstrated that there is no way you can beat them. They have the equipment, they have everything, they manufacture their own equipment. Remember in those days when Field Marshal used to produce his own equipment, That is what the Bui Unity Warriors are doing, and every day we see them. We see them on the battlefields doing exploits, taking out men and women of the Cameroon military, as we see in this image here. Again, that took place yesterday in Bui, and the men you find on the ground being stripped naked are the Boy Scouts of La République du Cameroun Army. The Boy Scouts from the La République du Cameroun's army being stripped naked by brave Ambazonia restoration fighters, Bui Unity Warriors, ladies and gentlemen. Again, there is no way they want us to believe that peace is coming, as Dion Gute wants the world to believe. Dion Gute, ladies and gentlemen, had a meeting yesterday in Yaoundé, and that will be the subject of my monologue tonight. But he was telling his so-called stakeholders in a sort of a praiser of the Grand National Dialogue that finally the Grand National Dialogue has brought peace, has brought normalcy. Well, I guess they are not seeing what we see. They do not see what you see. We see images like this. We see images like this, and those are Cameroon soldiers. Those are Cameroon soldiers, ladies and gentlemen, lying helpless, and I believe they said lying straight. And they must be having maybe a meeting with what was that guy in Boya? The guy in Boya, the former mayor of Patrick Ikema. They must be having a meeting with Patrick Ikema. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I will take a brief break out, and when I come back, I will take you to my first monologue. I will take you to my monologue for tonight. Please stay tuned.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America,
help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, thank you once more for staying put. I see the numbers jumping out there. I appreciate that. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take you to my monologue for tonight. Again, my monologue tonight centered on a meeting that took place in Yaoundé yesterday. A meeting took place in Yaoundé yesterday at the Prime Minister office, and presiding over the meeting was Dion Ngute. Dion Ngute, the Prime Minister of La République du Cameroun, and the subject of that meeting centered on the Grand National Dialogue. It centered on Grand National Dialogue, essentially an appreciation of what they have attained since the Grand National Dialogue. In other words, the achievements of Grand National Dialogue. That is what the meeting yesterday was all about. And this is my monologue for that subject. For years, the Cameroon government has peddled the grand national dialogue as its golden ticket to resolving the conflict in Amazonia. It was advertised as the ultimate forum where grievances would be addressed, historical injustices corrected, and a genuine path to lasting peace carved out. But as the dust settles, as the years go by, as the so-called special status unravels into nothing more than a hollow charade, the truth now stands bare before the world. The GND Grand National Dialogue was never about justice, was never about resolution. It was all about pacification. It was a ruse to dupe the unsuspecting, to suppress the revolution, and to give the false impression of no mercy, while tightening the chains of colonial subjugation. Cameroon's Prime Minister Joseph Dion Ngute has now inadvertently confirmed what Ambazonians knew all along. Speaking in Yaoundé yesterday, March 18, in a meeting with his hand-picked so-called stakeholders, Ngute did not even attempt to pretend that the Grand National Dialogue had resolved the root causes of the conflict. He did not say that the Francophone teachers forced into Anglophone classrooms had been withdrawn. He did not say that Francophone administrators and judges and prosecutors and decree-appointed governors have been recalled. He did not claim that economic discrimination and systemic marginalization have been addressed. No, he could not say any of this because none of it has been done. Instead, his primary achievement, if any, was this: the government, he said, has cracked down on separatists in the diaspora and that no mercy has returned. Is that what the Grand National Dialogue was supposed to be about? Cracking down on the diaspora? Was that the solution Ambazonians were promised? Ngute boldly declared, and I quote, "One particularly rewarding action," he said, "of their diplomacy has been the engagement of partners in disrupting," listen to that, "in disrupting the activities of secessionist leaders residing abroad. This has amounted to judicial proceedings in the majority of countries hosting identified terrorist groups," end of quote. There you have it. The real purpose of the Grand National Dialogue was not dialogue. It was not to listen. It was not to address the grievances of Ambazonians. It was to target, hunt down, and silence those advocating for true freedom. It was a well-orchestrated maneuver to give Cameroon breathing space while waging a war of suppression at home and abroad. It was a tool, not of peacemaking, but of strategic warfare against the Ambazonian movement. And yet, Ngute went on to list yet another so-called achievement, and I quote, "the restoration of no mercy." What no mercy? He pointed to cocoa production in the southwest, claiming that farmers have returned to their fields and are benefiting from higher prices. But we ask, how many villages remain burned to the ground? How many families have been displaced? How many innocent civilians continue to be tortured by the colonial police, army, and gendarme, maimed or slaughtered by the Cameroon's military? What about the countless Ambazonian leaders and activists languishing in prisons, held without trial, subjugated to inhumane treatment? I'm talking of men like Abdul Karim Ali, No mercy cannot be declared by a government that continues to rain bullets on people it claims to be its own citizens. No mercy is fake no mercy when you still hold thousands of people behind bars. Ngute also celebrated the so-called effective functioning of the special status and the Northwest and Southwest regional assemblies. But the question remains, in what way has this so-called special status improved the lives of Ambazonians? How has it erased the decades of marginalization? Where are the independent Anglophone institutions? Where is the autonomy? Where is the power to govern ourselves? It is all a lie, ladies and gentlemen. A special status dictated by Yaoundé is nothing more than an extension of colonial rule, a fraudulent attempt to deceive the world while maintaining absolute control over Ambazonia. To further insult the intelligence of Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, Dion Ngute paraded the establishment of a higher teachers training college in Boya as another milestone of the Grand National Dialogue on Special Status. What does that have to do, ladies and gentlemen, with the fundamental issues of the conflict? Is that supposed to compensate for the thousands of teachers and students killed or displaced? Of course not. Is that supposed to make up for the systemic destruction of the Anglo-Saxon educational system? How does one training college under decades of deliberate neglect and subjugation help? The answer is simple. It does not. It just doesn't. Ngute then talked about development plans for the regions. Ambazonians have heard these empty promises before. For years, they have been promised deep sea ports, ring roads, and investments. And yet, what has happened? What has been delivered? Nothing but more bloodshed, more lies, and more manipulation. The people no longer have faith in a government that only knows how to make empty promises, never fulfilling them. Not in Ambazonia. The revelations from Dion Ngute's speech should serve as a warning to all Ambazonians. The Grand National Dialogue and the so-called special status were never about genuine dialogue. They were tactics of suppression. And this is why Ambazonians must be wary of the mushroom groups that keep emerging in the name of Ambazonia's freedom. These groups, yesterday, for example, we had the APJ. Today, it is the caucuses. They are nothing but distraction tools in the hands of La Republique. Who are these groups? Who formed them? What is their real agenda? These are the groups, ladies and gentlemen, Dion Ngute is referring to as partners they used to weaken and divide the struggle. Real Ambazonians independentists must know their true leaders. They must know who has been in the trenches, who has paid the price, who has stood firm despite the threats, the arrests, the court cases, and the betrayals. The enemy is desperate to infiltrate and destabilize the movement from within, and they have been doing so, as we hear from them. Ambazonians must not fall for these tricks, and let no one be deceived. No mercy has not returned. The war is not over, and the people have not surrendered. The fact that the Cameroon military still occupies Ambazonian land, the fact that people live in fear, the fact that extrajudicial killings continue, these all prove that there is no peace, no normalcy. True normalcy will only come when Ambazonians are in full control of their land, their institutions, and their destiny. Until then, until then, the fight continues. The world must understand that Amazonians will not be silenced. They will not be cowed. They will not be deceived by fake dialogues and empty promises. The struggle is slow, maybe slow, but it is not over. And every day, every moment, Amazonians will continue to surprise the Cameroon army. Freedom is non-negotiable. Sovereignty is inevitable. Our march to independence remains unstoppable, though slow it may look. That is my monologue today, ladies and gentlemen. I am being joined by a number of comrades here. Let's see if they are there. Let's see if they are there. I see Comrade Dennis Atom is joining me. I will start from him, and I see Dr. Atiajo is here. Comrade Lisenge was supposed to be joining too. I think he is frozen or something like that. I hope that he will reconnect. Okay, so Comrade Dennis, if you can bend your camera slightly, please. Bend your camera slightly. Wonderful. Dr. Atiejo, it's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you, Comrade Chris, and thank you. I'm glad to be here today and also to be on the show with Comrade Dennis Atemken. My pleasure to meet you, to talk with you today, share the podium with you.
So, all right, thank you. And Dennis, it's a pleasure to have you back, sir.
Thank you, Comrade Chris, and thank you, Comrade Atienjo. You're all very welcome. I'm glad to be here today to share my ideas on this very interesting topic, and I hope that the evening will be a great one.
All right, let's delve straight into the issues. Of course, you and I, we have never really been fooled as per what this grand national dialogue was all about. We all knew it was window dressing. But for this to be coming from the lips of Dion Ngute, in fact, the chief host of Grand National Dialogue, what do you make of this when you hear him say the idea was to make sure that we divide and suppress the diaspora, using our partners, using our diplomatic angles, and he goes further to articulate how they have gotten some separatist leaders in the diaspora in the prison behind bars. What do you make of that when you hear
that? Comrade Chris, the colonial master is simply the colonial master. What did you expect Ngute to say? He's a slave boy. All he can do is repeat the mantras of his master and continue to pretend that they have defeated Amazonia because things are quiet today. Now, let me just go back to 1961 when Britain maneuvered Britain and the UN maneuvered to have us ally with La République du Cameroon in what they call independence by joining. At that time, they celebrated. Who could have told them that they were laying the foundation for this war of today? You get the point. They never knew that by not addressing issues fundamentally, they were only postponing issues and preparing wars and conflicts for the future. So La République du Cameroon today is repeating exactly that mistake by thinking that by manipulating, evading the root causes, deceiving people, dividing and so on, and not going to the root of the matter and actually being sincere that I want this conflict to end, I want the matter to be resolved. They are helping anybody. No, they're not helping anybody at all. They are just preparing more wars for the future. Even if this war were to abate today, to calm down a little bit, it is not the end of it at all. It cannot be the end because the root causes are serious. We are talking of one country occupying another without a single line of paper written between the two. Can Tiongute show us the Treaty of Union between La République de Cameroon and Bazonia? Can Diongute put down any instrument of international law which gives Cameroon jurisdiction over Ambazonia? So he can go about making all kind of stupid statements because he has nobody to question him. But let him put down the instruments which give Cameroon jurisdiction over Ambazonia, and we know that he's talking. So he can make all kinds of noise. He sits in front of people and is reciting whatever he's reciting. Of course, he should satisfy his master. You could see our chiefs going to beg almost a dead person to become a candidate in the upcoming election in La République du Cameroon. There is the same kind of stupidity and mindset that is animating Diongute. So really, there's nothing to write home about John Gute because the stupidity is just going on. They don't know history. They don't consult history. They just believe that just because for the moment they seem to have an upper hand, it's the end of the war. The war is not over. It's not over at all. It's not over. One battle doesn't make the war. It's not over. Until
Oh,
we sit down and address the root causes, this war will not be over.
let me turn over to Molad Lisenge, who was actually there in the Yaoundé attending Grand National Dialogue. Molad Lisenge, I hope you can hear me. Oh, it appears that he is frozen. It appears he is frozen. Uh, but let's get back to the subject. I hope we will get him reconnected soon. Mola, if you're hearing me, please try to reconnect. We like your thoughts on this. Now, Dennis, John Gute goes ahead to actually enumerate the things they have achieved through Grand National Dialogue and special status. He names the two assemblies, so-called regional assemblies. Yet if you ask anybody on the ground, show us the benefits, the achievements, what new that these regional assemblies have brought to the people to make life better, you see absolutely nothing. In fact, the people on the ground detest those so-called regional assemblies. He mentions the so-called teachers training something in the University of Boya. All over that territory, Ambazonia, they have teachers training centers everywhere. In fact, some have been shut down. The one in Libya, for example, has been shut down. They took out their teachers. There are training colleges everywhere in that country. I don't know what a new one, just one in that matter they set up. I think they set up one in Kumba and Bamenda too. I don't know what difference that make. So looking at all this, is this what Grand National Dialogue and Special Status was all about? Because the root causes, the fundamental causes to this conflict, they have not been touched, not in a smidgen of it. Dennis, please, back to you.
Comrade Chris, I think he was reciting all of those things just for want of what to say. He lacked what to say because there's nothing special in a teacher's training college being open in Boya. There's absolutely nothing special about that. Secondly, as I said, people who don't know history, who don't look at history, don't know that they are just planting more trouble for the future. If this country, so-called Cameroon, is a sincere country, they will not be so barbaric, they will not be so backward, they would sit down and discuss. Let me remind you about Ethiopia and the Oromo people. They had to go to South Africa, they had to go to Tanzania to discuss their conflict. Yes, they had to go accept that in order for us to discuss this conflict, we will accept to go to neutral ground. This is something that backward and barbaric Cameroon refuses to do. And yet, John Gute will sit there and be reciting those stupidities because he believes that by doing that, he's pleasing his master. But I've said it over and over. Let Yongute address the root causes. Let Yongute tell us that we were saying that we needed a teachers training college in Boya, and that is why we resorted we responded to their violence by taking up arms also. Let him tell us anything that has been addressed. Nothing has been addressed. He will remain there, waste his time, leave, and he will start crying and telling you that, oh, I had to say that because my hands were tied, I was this, I was that. He will account for it sooner or later. That is a fact. He will account for it. He can please his master. He can repeat the lies. He can say whatever he likes now because he has a microphone. He has the power to say whatever he likes. But his conscience and his life will never be the same as long as he has betrayed his own people in this manner. So I think Diongute is making a big mistake there. He's making a big mistake, is making a very big mistake. So I don't think anything has been fundamentally addressed. The root causes of the conflict are still there. None has been addressed. It turns out from what he has said that it was the Grand National Dialogue was not even intended to address any matter or to resolve any issue. It was intended to deceive and to calm the situation somehow. So if that is what he considers as an achievement, let us wait and see what the future will tell us.
Let me get over to Dr. Atienjo and get his take on all of this. Dr. Atienjo, listening to this, Dion Gute was essentially doing an appraiser of what came out of national dialogue and the special status almost 6 years ago. Remember, this was, I think, November 2019. November this year will make it 6 years. What do you make of that appraisal by Dion Ngute? What do you get out of it?
Well, Comrade Chris and Comrade Dennis, thank you for your ideas. One thing that is very clear is that, well, I accept you do not see history. History is being made in Cameroon, and for the negative reason, for the wrong reason. If you look back, when Achidi Achu was appointed as the Prime Minister of Cameroon, he had an agenda that was prepared and put in his arms: kill SDF, kill the opposition.
Yeah.
That was his job description. He went in and did that. When Musonge came up, the idea was for CDC to be neutralized, and all the funds that were coming through CDC were going to be embezzled and taken by the Yaoundé regime. That is what he did. Now, fast forward, Dion Gote came on board with an agenda that was prepared for him. You know, you have to kill the Anglophone, the ambassador struggle. That is it. So the chariot that was organized as this, the national dialogue, was just a means. It was a way. It was the agenda that was put in the hands of Diongote to execute. So it doesn't surprise me that he has come out to tell the truth to us, to Cameroonians and also Southern Cameroonians, that okay, this is why we organized it. Because if that was not an agenda that was prepared for him, why did they not discuss anything concerning the root cause of of the Amazonian struggle? They never visited that topic. Nothing was discussed in that respect. Even people who were present there, they cried out that no, we need to start thinking about something. Now they fast forwarded everything and created this regional house or house of assembly, or whatever they call it. Now these are powerless houses. The population in the in the northwest, they are not feeling the impact of that house. They just created an institution where people will be comfortable to go and sit there as chiefs, and then they appointed some other people who will go there as regional councillors to sit there and be bearing the titles like honorable and moving around and doing nothing. And these people are just fed there and they have nothing to offer to the population. If you go to the southwest region, there's nothing happening. You go to northwest, nothing is happening. But you just have a group of people, gullible Amazonians, who have sold their souls to the devil, who go and sit there every 3 months deciding nothing, and nothing is coming from Yaoundé. Do you know what they do when they go and sit in the regional houses? They go and sit and prepare everything, budget, and say they are waiting on Yaoundé to disburse the money. And Yaoundé never disburses that money. They sit there, a year passes by, another year comes, and they keep on living like and promising, making fake promises to people. So the prime minister is not wrong. He is barely telling people, clearly stating to people that articulating the reason why our people, why the national dialogue was constituted. That national dialogue was called just to elevate him. It was an agenda for him that he needed to do, but that is why they avoided anything that was kind of related to the struggle that we have. No root cause was discussed. No serious Amazonians were invited for there. I mean, if there was no serious person that attended that national dialogue. If you ask me, it was just a group of clowns who went there and did nothing, and they came back. They left. They lived in those hotels. They paid money for their transport, and they went and came back, and nothing done. That is what they wanted to do, and also to show to the world that they are doing something, but nothing was discussed. So, in a nutshell, it was a charade, and nothing can ever come from it because these people are not learning from history. When you are appointed in Cameroon as a prime minister, you are appointed as a figurehead. There's an agenda for you to achieve. If you don't achieve that agenda, that you are going to have it. I mean, they're going to send you to jail. They're going to do a lot of things. They always tie them. When they appoint them, they put them in a situation where they hold them ransom because of something that they have done or a mistake that they have made. And that is the reason why they have no other options but to serve the master who has appointed them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I like us to look at one angle of this, gentlemen. I have spent years coming on this television set and former ABC to expose those Ambazonians who claim to be independentists, claim to be Ambazonian leaders, but pandering and whining and dining with La République du Cameroon. And I've even secured enemies, lots of enemies within the Ambazonian movement because I say it the way I see it and the way I know it. When I see infiltration, when I see sponsored agenda, I come out and I put it out and I talk about it and I expose them just so Ambazonians may know who is who in this movement. Now, Dion Gute comes out and says they succeeded to divide the diaspora. I don't know whether people see it. Yesterday, Capo Daniel came out with and Dr. Songo came out with the APJ, Alliance for Peace and Justice. Then Milan Adam is also out now with the caucuses. The caucuses, and you see they are all sleeping on the same bed with federalists whose agenda is nowhere close to what independentists are asking for. When you begin to see such things, and see them on Cameroon television, be it the private or CRTV, see them in front of Cameroon newspapers, and you cannot see any of us. You cannot find Chris Anu on Equinox television, on CRTV, on My Media Prime, on the Guardian Post. I mean, any of their media, because they call us separatists and terrorists. But when people like the Capo Daniel, the Songos, the Atoms, they have access to those media houses, something is wrong. And I am kind of bound to say these are the kind of people that Dion Ngute refers to as dividing, penetrating us, but to penetrate us and do what they have done. And I will say to an extent, they are succeeding. Dr. Tinjo, I would like you to comment on this before I go back to Dennis.
You're absolutely right, Comrade Chris, and this is very clear. Uh, Cameroon has the Cameroonian government, the tyranny in Cameroon is something that they have many schemes that they have, and one of these schemes is that which they go now and look very deeply in our struggle and see those who are gullible, people who are so interested in dividing and in destroying this revolution. They target these people, and these are succeeded to create groups of Cameroon whenever they want, and they also agree. They go on their TV or different, whether it's private or the government TV stations. They go and present their agenda there without anybody hesitating to or any threats on them. What do you expect from these people? This is something that you can see. The problem I have is that most Amazonians do not see through the eye of a needle. They need to actually look at it to get a deep look at this revolution and see who is telling the truth. The problem we have is that most people are so myopic to an extent that they do not, the sense of reasoning has really gone out of them. So, yes, I agree with you. These are people who are creating groups just to continue to divide the Amazonian struggle. But the reasonable ones know what is right to be done, because there's never a day you are going to come to me and talk to me to support a regime like the kind of regime that is in Cameroon. Or there's never a day somebody is going to tell me that I should support something like unity. No. We Ambazonians, it is a country, and we do not have any document that binds us together with La Republique. Somebody should challenge us and show us that document. And all these individuals who are contacted to cause mayhem or to bring a division within the Ambazonian struggle, they need to actually ask serious questions, reflect on themselves and their decisions, because we Ambazonians, we stand for the truth and we stand for the independence of our people. We are not terrorists. Terrorists do not seek for the interest or fight for the interest of their own people. Terrorists are people who are senseless in their actions in terms of destabilizing a system that is working. We are a unit that is out there for the independence of our people. We love our people and we want our people to be free from all this terrible the tyranny that is coming from Yaoundé regime. So I agree with you that some of these individuals are soft spots. Those are the soft spots or the weak links we have in the struggle. And they target all these weak links based on some kind of relationship in terms of maybe it could be tribal or business relationship that they one thing that you also have to understand is that hunger is something that can cause a lot of people to lose their values or to sacrifice their values. And also the quest for power is something that can cause people to lose values too. Because when these individuals sit wherever they are, they come and promise them money, promise them positions or appointments. If they cause some kind of mayhem or bring some kind of division within the struggle, they fall in for it, not knowing that La République has been very consistent. They have been very consistent in doing things like that. They make promises and they don't stand by their promises. So when they use you, they dump you. They use you, they dump you. But I don't know when they're ever going to understand that. But to me, I see it as a very, very terrible game that is actually causing problems within our revolution. But those who are steadfast and who have the resolve are still standing tall. And this revolution will continue to the logical end. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me quickly get to Dennis before I get to Mola Lisenge, who is now reconnected. Dennis, again, the subject is the subject. I'm talking about the subject of infiltration in this thing. We now hear Dion Ngute telling us to our eyes that they succeeded to use their partners to divide us. Now, he separates the word diplomats. They use diplomacy and their partners to divide us. When you use the word partners, what comes into your mind if these partners are not the people who are, emerging at every interval within our midst and trying to come up with a different agenda.
Comrade Chris, I go back to history. History is full of collaborators, traitors, sellouts, Judases, and people who just make a lot of noise when they are hungry. So the a colonial master knows that if the price is right, you can buy anybody. That is what they say. So they go out for these people who make a lot of noise, giving the impression that they are serious, when in fact they are just hungry. You could see it within the SDF and all those other parties that people formed. People got in believing that, oh, it was tomorrow that they will get power. And when they didn't get power, you see them switching, falling back, going this way, going that way, falling wherever they could get something to eat. So this phenomenon of traitors, sellout, infiltrators, Judases is everywhere. Is everywhere, and some of our people are just like that. You can see Capo Daniel yesterday. He was part of Egg of Sea, pretending to be very serious and so on, fighting for independence. You can see where he is today when the independence is not yet there. So a lot of people will give the impression that they are serious, that they fight for independence, but you only judge them by their actions. You don't judge them by what they say. You judge them only by their actions. People going to bed with federalists and so on. Of course, you must discount such people as independentists. They're not independentists at all. They are not independentists at all. And we should not, those who are serious, those who believe in the cause of the Southern Common, should not be bothered by traitors and sellouts because there's nothing they can do to stop those. You can lecture from now to the end of the world. People who are constitutionally defective, who will swear at every turn, will still swear. You cannot convince them. You see, there are people
But
who are
Dr.
naturally
Comrade, it
defective.
appears to me you are underplaying the effect of what these traitors and sellouts can do, because I think you know exactly where we are in this struggle today, fragmented, and now you have a window of opportunity, and we have seen Capo Daniel with PRAP and APJ. Now
Yeah.
you have the Milan Atoms caucuses, all in an effort to divide us to the effect that Cameroon will always say we don't know who to talk to. We don't know who to talk to. As I do not understand people like Capo Daniel, Milan Atam, who were yesterday staunch independentists, now telling us we need to go to the same bed with these federalists to get what if their
No,
goal
please,
is
like,
not
what can
to
you do?
divide us, as John Gute says.
And no, Comrade Chris, you must always speak to those who are genuine that they have nothing to do but stand on the truth of their cause. Because you will not go and convince those people. No matter what you do, those people will remain traitors.
Yeah,
Unless by
but
some
shouldn't
chance
our people,
someday,
though, shouldn't our people be very smart and shine their eyes to make sure that these people emerging with these sweet plans, sweet plan, let's accommodate everybody. I mean, we got phone calls on this show with people saying, oh, let's just expand the 10. It doesn't hurt to welcome these federalists. And I am beginning to wonder, you enter into a car from here to Bavinda and you have somebody going to Batibo. How do you get him to Batibo in the same in the same car?
no, you cannot, Comrade Chris. But the reality, as I'm saying, is that yes, you see all of these things. There are people who will be swayed at the first opportunity. So there's nothing you can do with such people. For you, our people can only be strengthened when they see those who believe in the cause. So those who believe in the cause, this is the time for them to stand firm. This is the time for them to promise to themselves that they will not be the first to fall. This is the time for them to go out and convince more people. And those people who refuse to be convinced, they will not be convinced, Comrade Chris. They are simply weaklings who will change their mind at every turn. If you are speaking to them, they pretend to be with you. The next person comes and speaking to them, they change and they say they are with that person. There are people who are like that, and there's nothing you will do about those people. You just know that once you see such people, you avoid them. That's all. You just avoid them. You just avoid them, and you try to, as much as possible, to prevail on your not to be tempted by such people, because the majority of people don't even understand the root causes of this problem. Even amongst the educated ones, amongst those in the diaspora, they don't understand the root causes. When they speak, you still hear confusion in their minds. You still hear confusion in their minds. You realize that they have never really understood the root causes of this conflict. They have never really understood the root causes of this conflict. Some of them who think that, oh, good governance can solve this problem. You see, let us just work and have a good government and it will solve this problem. How do you talk about good governance with thieves? Good governance begins by the respect of law and order. And law and order will not allow you to steal a neighbor's thing. This is another country that has stolen another country completely. And then you want to talk about root causes and go to good governance. How? It will not work. It will not work. If you have not taken time and lie on your bed and analyze this thing and understand that root causes must be addressed, and the only way to do that is to put the two parties on the same table, one against the other, then you have not gone to any, you have not started talking about the matter. So don't be deceived, Comrade Chris. Those people, the traitors will remain traitors, the blacklegs will remain blacklegs, they sell out the Judases. Whatever you do, you will not convince those people if they are by their own. I don't want to use the word nature. No, they are just handicapped. They are unable to think for themselves, and so they think only other people think for them. They are unable to think for themselves.
All
So
right.
we have to accept that fact. Yes.
All right, let me bring in Mola Lisenge, who participated in the Grand National Dialogue. And Mola Lisenge, I want to believe you were able to hear my monologue and have an understanding of the points that I made. The Grand National Dialogue was meant to prefer enduring solutions to the conflict. But what we are hearing today from Dion Ngute essentially tells us, yeah, people may have been thinking, maybe people like you who flew from London to Yaoundé to attend a Grand National Dialogue, you thought you were going there to provide true solutions to the conflict. But does it surprise you that John Gute is telling us, no, that wasn't our objective. Our objective was to destabilize the diaspora. Our objective was to build these schools, the teacher training colleges, the regional assemblies, and so on and so forth. The fundamental issues that gathered you people in Yaoundé have not been addressed. I'm talking about the root cause to this conflict. Are you surprised by what you hear, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chris, and my greetings to Dennis and the other person on the panel. Well, to me, I've never been surprised ever since I was born what La Republique du Cameroon is doing, because I know what they are doing. I know they have been playing to the galleries, they play to window dressing exercise. I've heard Dennis, he's talking about like these people, they don't know the root cause. The national dialogue was called for a window dressing exercise. I knew that's why I went there, because they gave everybody invitation. Some people, they knew they were not going to come there, and I challenged them a lot. I asked you that the invitation you invited me, it is written there, major national dialogue on the situation in Northwest and Southwest. Why are you talking about other parts of the other region? Oh, Mola, Mola, sit down, sit down. So I knew it was a game. And when I speak here, I respect elders. Somebody like John Bute. But I'm disappointed by him. He's part of the system. He's not a victim. Chris, I have my copy here. John Bute invited us. This is a letter from the cabinet office. Instruction from the Prime Minister. We are pleased to inform you that you have been shortlisted to participate. Blah, blah. It was Dion Gute. Dion Gute was my lecturer. He has been director of ENAM. He should not play the victim. Sometimes we should call our Anglophone brothers and sisters that they are not victims. We are part of the problem. They understand the system and they are there for themselves. Mr. Dion Gute was my lecturer in Wakere. Although he was not teaching me public law, but he knows what is decentralization. Assuming that we want decentralization, which is in the United Kingdom, you identify the power. You identify whether you have to transfer educational powers, health powers, transport power, justice power, taxation. You have a lot of them. So what did they transfer? Nothing. When we went there, they had their 8 commission and they said they must talk only about decentralization. So it was a window dressing exercise. And I was happy that I went there and I challenged them. I knew we can't do anything because we know our countries or both countries, it's been run by France. I sit on this platform. I have my own way, the way I fight them. Because I will never come and say I want federalism or independence. All I will tell them that it is simple. Two countries came together, use your institution or your France CFA, your ENAM, your Economy Superior, your Gendarmerie, all those things. We never agreed, those two states that came together to use those things. Because people say, oh, we had a constitution. I said, no, there was no act of union, which is a treaty. You cannot put the cat in the hole. These people know this problem more than me and you. But the problem, when we use this thing about independence, they use it as a way, oh no, Cameroon is one and indivisible. So the starting point is, okay, assuming that we don't want to separate, use your Frank CFA in your own area because there was no agreement. Bahamuna will tell you, Bahafonta will tell you, you cannot impose your institutions. But a starting point, I believe they should use their French inherited institution in La République du Cameroon. Let's use our English institution. Assuming yes, some people voted to join them, it's okay. But because you join somebody doesn't mean in future they cannot ask you to have another referendum like Scotland. Scotland voluntarily joined the United England and they signed an act of union, not constitution. Constitution doesn't bind you. And I presume Prime Minister Dion Gute should know about this more than myself. He was my lecturer. And for him to come and say decentralization is a process. When I came back after the national dialogue, I made a video and I said there's no decentralization in Cameroon. And I explained what was decentralized transfer of power, and it's not a process. The Prime Minister's office sent something to me that I should join. What I don't know whether they have a committee or what. I said I'm not joining. You cannot put me in a committee that I'll be listening to. How do they call this Anglophone people? Along Paul and the other man who is a Commonwealth. I said I cannot join them. They cannot lecture me on decentralization. So let's not play as if we are ignorant. These guys, they know what they are doing. And if we know they are working for France, even La Republic is not a sovereign country. You cannot have a national dialogue. Then President Paul Biya said, I am going to France to give an account to Mitterrand. Why not in Britain? Why not in America? It tells you that they are still colonized. And they make that choice. Britain left British Cameroon. France did not. So why should we be crying more than the bereaved? It is not our problem. If they want to stay there, they should stay there. And again, you talk about people say this is independent or separatist. Again, They should read their constitution of La République du Cameroon. Article 65 says you have the right of your political opinion. In the United Kingdom, we have people who want independence, separatists. In France, we have it. In America, we have it. All over European countries, you have it. In South Africa, they have a Cape Zip, a party that wants Cape, the white side, to separate. Why are they not touching them? Why are they not stopping them? It's only in Black Africa that we don't respect each other. And again, the national dialogue was a scam. Why I say it was a scam, you cannot invite us to say, let's come and discuss about the problem in Northwest and Southwest region on the invitation. Then we come there, instead of talking about Northwest and Southwest, you're talking about the other region in Cameroon. Then you come about with a solution of decentralization in the entire country when we were there to talk all about Northwest and Southwest. You see, these people, forgive me, in England we call a state a state. They adore people, they are nitwit, they are nincompoop. They think they can be scamming. I cannot understand people are in power. Then they behave, they treat people as if they are kids or children. They think they can scam people. It's a disgrace. I have no respect for any person who lies. It doesn't matter your age. They are a bunch of liars.
That is a great appraiser there, Mola. What would you be advising those left, especially at home, about the so-called Grand National Dialogue, knowing what we know now?
To be honest, I doubt if I should give them any advice. The problem is taking into consideration that we are in the Cameroon. The government understands how to do things. They want to stay in power. They want to be there forever. And to be honest, I know some of you call some people blackleg. I don't bother about that because in every society there will always be people like that. To us, is to focus to achieve what I call equal status. We have to recognize that two counties came together. And whether they like it or not, they will delay it as much as they want. It's the approach that matters. I believe there is no struggle on earth that we don't have differences. In South Africa, they had ANC, the Mandela we have Pan Africa, which was held by Sabokwe. We have Inkatha Freedom Movement. We have Communist Party with Chris Hani and Joe Slovo. In all organizations, those things happen to me, so it's a non-event to me. I don't focus on that. That I saw Dennis spending time calling somebody's name for that long, about more than 10 minutes. I wouldn't waste my time on that. You focus on the things. I won't call names because there are always people like that. The problem to me is that it's a matter of time. These people, they will play their game. France is there, but I could see the population of the Cameroons, both the francophone and anglophone. These people, they think they can fool some people sometimes, but not all the time. I can see everywhere Cameroonians in the Cameroons, French part, English part. I can see if they make mistake. Listen, I'm not wishing for that, but it took 100 days for what happened in Rwanda to happen. If these people they are not reading in between the line, you look at Yaoundé, these people cannot clean their street. Then they want to run a country. These people want to destroy the Cameroons. Like they say, some Anglophones are responsible for what is going on. They are going to be responsible for any problem in Cameroon because they know nobody can stay in power for 42 years. And most of these Anglophones, my advice is for the people who are in top position in the Cameroons. People like Prime Minister Dion Gute, Young Solomon Atanganji, all of them, they are there. They should not say they are victims because we had late Governor is it Achu. Governor Achu resigned long ago. If they have integrity, they should leave. Who should be part of running the Cameroons today? Is it my lecturer, people like Biongute, or are we the people who should be running that country today? So they want to stay there forever. They are benefiting for something. But my point is, they are not working for the interests of the people of the Cameroons. My advice should be to Biongute. I'm saying it, I know you will follow what we are saying. You are my lecturer. What are you doing there? Can't you retire? Can't you do what them? Governor Achudi resign. So don't, you are not a victim. You understand the system. You're being director of Enam. You lecture me in Guakele, you are still there till thy kingdom come. You people are the problem. There is no country where the same people will run the country. The same people, Yabu Solomon was minister, is it 1970 something? Bajida Achu was prime minister before I was born. Late Paul Mukete was minister in Nigeria and died as a senator. What sort of people? They don't want their country to progress. And at the end of the day, I won't say what I have to say here. I will only advise them that they are not forced to be there. Some of us, if we want to be there, we will be there. We don't want to be there because we cannot work with a criminal syndicate or with dishonest people.
Okay, all right. Let me get Dennis quickly chip in something there, and then I will bring in Maître Nikamp, who is joining from Switzerland, I believe. Yes. Dennis, go in, come in, please.
Comrade Chris, as I've said, these people know that they are telling lies. They just want to deceive themselves and deceive their masters. They don't want to solve any problem. They want to postpone this problem. They want to keep the flames of war alive. So let them decide whether the one peace or the one war, whether the one peace or the situation to be addressed or not. Because people like Dongute coming out to tell all these lies to say that, oh, the Grand National Dialogue achieved a certain purpose, it has calmed down the situation and so on. And let them calm down the situation. As I said before, Cameroon will declare victory 100 times, and at the end of the day, Ambazonia win. We decide when to attack, we decide when to go to war. So they can decide whatever they like today, but tomorrow we are the ones feeling the pains. We are the ones who have the obligation to resist them. Our people must understand that there is no link between our own country and La République du Cameroon. They are colonizers, and our people must understand that. The idea that, oh, someone has entered your land, because he's stronger than you just pretend that you are dead. He takes it, he gives you what he likes, and pretends that he owns everything and deceives you. In which country have you ever seen one federated state abolishing another federated state? Tell me. So the fundamental issues that have to be addressed, I still need to be addressed. And let us only tell our people that we stand on the truth of our problem, of our cause, and that no matter the gimmicks, no matter the shortcuts and the appearances and the events that are happening, we will stand on the truth of our matter, and that is all. That is the only way to behave, to stand on the truth of your cause and say, as long as my house has been occupied by my neighbor, I have a right to that house, and I will continue to resist. That is it. There's
All
no other
right.
way to look at this matter.
All right, let me have Metro Nikon quickly chip in something to this. Metro, it's good to have you, sir. I'm sure you listen to the subject we are discussing here. I'd like you to just briefly chip in before we move to the next subject. The Republic keeps on saying, no mercy, no mercy, no mercy. But they have thousands of prisoners, Amazonian prisoners behind bars. If no mercy were there, why would they continue to keep people with behind bars? If no mercy were there, why are they not doing reconstruction? And by the way, what do you make out of the fact that Dion Gwete now comes out telling us Grand National Dialogue wasn't what you all thought? It was all about pacifying Ambazonians and letting the subjugation to continue.
Chris, I know. Thank you very much, my fellow other comrades, Mr. Dennis Atemken, and my old friend, Lisinge, in the days back on the SUIL. So It's good to sing all of, well, I want to first of all apologize for coming in late. Actually, I had some difficulties with my PC trying to get the connections on, but I'm so delighted being here and seeing our best minds talking about our home country and our people. Look, fellow gentlemen, it is no news. I think to an extent, when I say we, the committed Ambazonians who are out to maintaining, to ensuring that our total liberation is assured, we have allowed people to tell our history for us. They call us various names: secessionists, terrorists, separatists, and yeah, call us what you want. We are a people, the people of the former British Southern Cameroons, also known as Ambazonia. When you hear the types of John Gute coming up right now, and all of them, they're in total panic. They are in total panic because their ship is already gone. Their captain is down. He's not even talking. All along, we have been talking about presidential election candidates. Have you ever heard a speech from the president himself? Despite that, even our traditional leaders, those who are supposed to protect our our culture, they gathered in mass in Yaoundé without any invitation, forced themselves to say we are now endorsing Paul Biya. And I even saw this group of suffering students who are even graduate from higher institutions, now riding Okadas, assembled in Douala to say we are endorsing the candidacy of Paul Biya. And all of this is just confusion being injected by the regime in place, so they continue to maintain grip. Now, I did ask a question. How come a secretary to the president is now portraying himself as a minister and is being taken as a minister? This can only happen in La République du Cameroon. Sadly enough, they have dragged our elites, our people inside until they have contaminated them to now we are suffering it. I've asked this question repeatedly, gentlemen. Maybe you guys could also help answer me, especially my able friend, Barrister Lisenge. I mean, legally and legitimately, as a Southern Cameroonian, the right to contest for the presidency of the Republic of Cameroon, taking that there is no treaty of union between these two countries, has a Southern Cameroonian that right to contest for that presidency? The answer is blatantly no. Why is it that our people, those who are even who are educated, they are supposed to help our people, teach our people understand what they don't know in terms of history, they are instead joining in deceiving our people? How long will they continue to be deceiving our people? John Gute is coming and now, I think all of us can remember when he stood in Buea. I think he was arrested by the Holy Spirit of the Ambazonian ancestors when he started confessing that it is time to get our dignity. It was time to get our nationality. He was speaking that was the force of the ancestors. Today he's just John Gute is just like a master slave boy. Ferdinand Gongo, who is just the secretary to the president, has more powers than John Gute. His secretary signs document at his office more than him. So this is very, very pathetic. I hope that as we are moving forward, there should be no turning back. Let's focus and continue to educate our people. Now, the magma is building very, very high today. Look, we all saw what happened in the Bolowa, South Yaoundé there. They were asking our people to leave. They burn some of their houses, kill some. So I'm constantly in communications with some of our people down there. Try to leave, start to come towards our homeland, so that when the routes are blocked, you can even trek easily, and you can enter Mbanga, you can enter Kumba, you can enter Likumba, you can enter Tiko, and start to come home, because it is going to be worse. The French people are saying, they say it like Nuit de Longue Coteau. It is beginning to come. So I don't want to dwell so much on this, but the point is that they have all lost our respect. They have no place in our homeland. Most of them will go to prison, some of them will run for asylum, and some will even commit suicide.
Well, thank you, comrade. Listen, let's take a brief break out, and when we come back, I will take you to the press briefing yesterday by Paul Atanganji on the occasion of the release of Roland Awan, the Idabato Colonial Divisional Officer, finally released, regained his freedom from the hands of pirates in the Bakassi area. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be right back in a few minutes. Please remain tuned in.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
We are here at the Southwest Governor's Office, where you could see behind me, this is the delegation, officials, close collaborators of the Governor of the Southwest region, headed by the Secretary General at the Southwest Governor's Office, who went down to Edinau, received the release divisional officer for Idabato, Roland, and handed him to another convoy that is heading to Yaoundé. The officials here have made us to understand that there is no declaration here. All the declarations will be done at the level of Yaoundé. Now the Southwest region is relieved. It is a prayer answered. After 6 months in captivity, the divisional officer for Idabato subdivision in the Njan division here in the Southwest region was released yesterday, March 17, 2025. He was whisked away 2 a.m. October 1, 2024. His physical appearance is not encouraging. He has lost some weight. It is understandably so. A lot of things must have changed psychologically and even health-wise. But he is highly spirited, and whatsoever be the development now, it will be at the level of Yaoundé, where the situation at one point was declared by the government spokesperson, the Cameroon Minister of Communication, and equally by the Minister of Territorial Administration, that it is not a diplomatic issue since the divisional officer was taken beyond the borders of Cameroon.
All right, that report from a Media Prime reporter in Boya on Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, on the release of Roland Awan. Roland Awan, you all will recall, was abducted about 6 months ago in Idabato. Idabato is in the Bakassi Peninsula area. After 6 months, he was, he regained his freedom. But the important thing here is not about him regaining freedom. The fact that Paul Atanji, Territorial Administration Minister for La République du Cameroun, actually acknowledged negotiating with kidnappers and what they would normally describe as terrorists. Quite interesting. And Roland Awan was essentially treated as a political trophy for La République du Cameroun. Now, the take home message in this story is the fact that La République du Cameroon, you will recall, has said, we do not negotiate with terrorists. We do not negotiate with separatists. We do not negotiate with kidnappers. But they went all the way into the peninsula in Nigeria to negotiate and actually paid a ransom for the release of Roland Awan. Now, I'd like you to listen to Paul Atanganji himself in that brief press conference that took place in Yaoundé on Tuesday. Listen.
And this is an opportunity to tell him again that his warm greetings from President Paul Biya for his courage, steadfastness, and the determination. So when you are in difficulties and you are discouraged, it's not a good sign. So he remained a seasoned administrator despite all the difficulties, despite all the challenges. He was foresighted and he knew he was not alone. So yesterday at 10 minutes past 5 p.m., he was officially handed over to the authorities. The SDO was there, the governor came, and they have come to meet me, the minister. But we still have one case, the second assistant mayor of Idabato. So we are still working on that case, and I think by the grace of God, sooner or later, we'll also obtain the release of the second assistant mayor of Idabato. So I think that so far so good. It has been very difficult. Thanks to their courage, thanks to the instructions from President Paul Biya, and thanks to the prayers, because Cameroonians have prayed a lot. You know, when you're in the hands of criminals, one can never tell. They can be laughing with you in the morning, and in the evening, you are no more. So I think that from all the signals we had from those kidnappers, we knew that sooner or later, the deal will be released. So he's here, he's strong. He will go through medical checkup, which is normal. That's one of the first things that we'll have to do. He has to go through medical checkup and to come back to himself, then before he can go back to his duty position. But I think that as you can see him, even though he went through all those challenges, he's up, he's standing, and I think that we have discussed, and he says he will still pick up the challenge to do his job as a seasoned administrator, and I congratulate him for that. So once again, this is the deal of Idabato. He is here with us, and I think that we have to thank President Paul Biya for all what he had put in place for him to be released, because we had diplomatic connections, we had discussions with all the stakeholders, the security services, the administrative authorities, and all those who could give us any information, any relevant information to go and discuss with those kidnappers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got that last statement there. Atanganji says, let me read that from my transcription here. Paul Biya, they thank Paul Biya for all that he has put in place for him to be released, because we had diplomatic connection. Now, this is Paul Atanganji speaking, I'm quoting him. He says, that means they had discussions with all these stakeholders, talking about, he said, the security services, the administrative authorities, and all those who could give us or who gave us relevant information to go, he says, to go and discuss with those kidnappers. To go and discuss with those kidnappers. Yani at who you know are very vicious. And then he went on to say, you cannot predict what those guys will do. We have tried 2 or 3 times, and we were very close to taking him. But at the last minute, they will change. In December, he said, Atanganji says, we could have released him, but it was very difficult. We had another second attempt around the 15th of January, he said, but it didn't work. We had to try all over again. And this time it was good. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the testimony from Paul Atanganji that at least, or finally, They had to negotiate with the kidnappers of Roland Awan. I don't know what is happening. What is the arrangement? Because also the mayor or the assistant mayor of that community was also kidnapped on the same occasion, the same time that the colonial officer was picked up. But let me quickly bring in my team here to do some justice today. Let me start with you, Maitre Nikamf. What do you make? What do you make of the fact that Atanganjia subconsciously reveals how they had to go and discuss with the kidnappers? What do you make out of that?
Thank you again, Comrade Chris, for that question and for the chance to at least put some words on. Actually, what I feel so bad is the fact
Who,
that
as you know, are very
Mr. Ewane is one of us. And I regret that he has to go through all those pain for a country that does not even recognize him. The first thing Atanganji is singing there is only praises to Paul Biya. Thanks to Paul Biya. Does Paul Biya even know that there was somebody kidnapped as a Ewane? This is how they go around propagating things that they are not read. And one other thing is that he could not reveal how they were not. The journalists, they are always afraid to asking him questions because he intimidates them through their CNA or what they call it there. I cannot explain. Somebody could have asked him, was any ransom paid? That is the question they could have.
But what do you mean?
Mr.
Why? Hold on there. Hold on. Why would somebody be asking him if any ransom was paid? If you were in his shoes and you are asked that question, what would you say? He has made it clear. They went and discussed with the kidnappers. Remember, 2 months ago, the kidnappers were asking for 700 million CFA francs. And you think they walked to the kidnappers and they were sitting and took back this official?
No, we just want the public just want to know the figure, how much was paid, of course, because so that it goes into history. And that is all I mean. It's not that they didn't pay. Actually, they did pay. Yeah, that's my point here.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's get to Dennis, now let's get to Molari Lisange. Give us your take on what you hear there from Paul Atanganji, sir, on the release of this officer.
Yeah. I should start by saying that I feel very sorry for the man. You can look at his face, and I saw how he was being tortured, the family. I feel sorry for him first. And I'm so disappointed. This man they call Atanganji, is he a minister in the Cameroons? When I think about even other ministers who are Anglophone, Anomandume, Anguba, Achide Aju, Atogo, I look at the people who call themselves ministers today. My God, I just look at him. To be honest, I want to start by that. Mr. Ewane, I will tell you, in an Anglo-Saxon country, he has been tortured. The first thing that will happen, he has to go to the hospital. They don't need to show him in public. He has got a private life. The family, they should be the only one to be seeing him. Look at his face. What they are doing. Governor is parading victory. Minister of Territorial Minister, victory. Communication, victory. They take this man. He doesn't look like a human being to me. They are using him like a tool, as we said, trophy kids. It's a disgrace. Even Minister Atanganji, the governor, they don't need to go near to him. What have to happen in an Anglo-Saxon system? The police, they have to update the public because he's a public official. It's the police, it's their duty, not Minister of Territorial Administration, not unelected civil servant, governor, or whatsoever. It's not their job. This is a criminality. I sit there every day. If they touch one person, a criminal thing, or they kill somebody, the police will come and explain to the public because they owe a duty. But Mr. Tanganji is thanking Mr. Biya. He doesn't even know diplomacy. He come and say, oh, we pray to God. People who kill Wazizi, kill Martinez Zogo, torture Longe and others, they say they pray. Even the devil can hold a Bible. So Mr. Tanganji should not. Let me tell you, Mr. Tanganji, your colleagues, the French minister, they cannot even stand you. Because I know one of my mentors for more than 40 years is of late. He once told me that, Alex, I like Anglophone ministers. They are very simple. There is nothing Anglo-Saxon about Atanganji. The reason he's doing it, because he is in a position that he never thought he was going to be in that position. I feel sorry for that man. I know he's whether he's a Dio or what or whatsoever. I feel sorry for the family. And again, most of them, they always say, we don't negotiate. France, they always say that. They go behind the scene and they negotiate. It's a common phenomenon. I know that. They always do that. So we have double standards. The family of Wazizi, they want to know where he was buried. Nobody is telling us. But today they are telling us about Mr. Awan, which I'm happy. He's a human being. I saw the wife crying. I don't know them, but I felt for them as a human being. So we have double standards. We want to know where Wazizi. We want to know who killed Martinez Zogo. We want to know students in Boya University who were killed in police station. So nobody is above the law. So at the end of the day, it tells you that the government of La République du Cameroon takes people and treats them like robots. Mr. Ewane doesn't look nice. Look at his face. How can Atanganji do this? How can the governor of whatsoever do this? They are not good for that man. You force a man to come and show. The governor have to travel to Yaoundé because to show us what we are seeing. It is a disgrace because these people, they work in Yaoundé. They don't see the dirty streets to deal with that. Imagine how much they have spent. I'm not talking whether they pay ransom to leave Boya, the governor, to meet this person just to come and show. Then they say, oh, President Paul Biya, Mr. Tanganji, don't fool us. You don't have Paul Biya's number. You cannot call Paul Biya directly. So you keep on playing your games, but they know you. So Mr. Tanganji is just playing all these games. He cannot, he does, even the prime minister hasn't got direct number, Mr. Biya's number. So when they do this, they should stop pretending, oh, the president did this or that. We should praise, if we're living in an Anglo-Saxon country, we should be praising the police for doing their job, not the president, because that fair is the job for the police, not the president. But Mr. Tangaji, they have masterminded the game since in those days when we were in the Cameroons, when they used to have ghost towns in Bamenda in the early 90s, he used to put cars, vehicle there, so he has masterminded his way to find himself in a position that only people like Pa Achide Achu could have been, and Nobagu, Ene Togo, and other people with dignity. Because even if you're serving the La Republic government, Mr. Atanganji have made the post of a minister to look like a fly upon a sheet. I will still feel sorry. You can see, Chris, I'm looking at that Mr. Roland's face.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see the man's face. He is so distressed. They are using him like a toy.
Right, right. I mean, again, just as I said, they essentially treated him as a political trophy in Yaoundé. You could, I mean, you saw the convoy accorded him entering Boya as if it was Paul Biya arriving. Then in Yaoundé, Paul Atanganji turns around, smiles, and thanks the head of state and praises him for his courage. And the man is dying, literally dying. You can see his eyes in front of you there.
He should be in the hospital. Nobody should see him, only the family. But Mr. Atanganji, it tells you how the country, oh my God. When I was growing up, it tells you how that country is no longer a country. We can pretend as much as we want. It's people who understand that the clock is ticking, that their time is at hand. And to be honest, regardless of Mr. Roland Ewane, I don't know him, but I wish him well. They should allow that man to go and sit and rest.
All right. Let's get to Dennis. Dennis, give us your thought on this subject, please. I think we lost Dennis. He seems frozen. Let me go to Dr. Atienjo. Please, Dr. Atienjo, give us your thought on this.
Yes, Comrade Chris, I also want to talk on the same thing that the former speaker just said. Yeah, I really feel so sad for Mr. Ewane. You see, look at him; he is so demarcated. This is somebody who has been in captivity for months, for many months, and he has been under very abject conditions. They are supposed to run. He should have been in the hospital now, being treated, and because he looks so dehydrated. And this man, if he continues to stand there, he might collapse. Okay. First of all, this man was released from Indian, and they took him through the boat, got all the way to Boya, saw the governor there, the slave governor there. They took him to Yaoundé. This is really, really stressful for him. Somebody who has been in captivity. They are supposed to be running tests on him now to see how his electrolyte levels are, make sure that he is hydrated, keep sure that all his systems are functioning. The kidneys, the liver, they need to check this out. So, but they are now parading the streets of Buea and Yaoundé for their own party, appreciating the president who is not even aware, he's not even conscious of what is happening with Mr. Ewane. So it becomes a joke in this situation. It becomes a joke when you see things like this. Cameroon is at the verge of collapse. I mean, it's a failed state that is about to disappear, because when you have lunatics that are in position of power, you are going to see a lot of atrocities being caused. How could somebody not even reason that this man needs medical attention? There could somebody not even reason that this man driving all the way to Yaoundé or whatever is happening is so stressful for this man. He's going to add on his own stress. And he might leave from there and even go and die because proper treatment has not been accorded him. So it's really, really terrible. And when you see people like Atakanji, who do not really stand for, who have lost values, human values have been lost in this kind of individuals, because all they think about is about the CPDM party and elections coming, how they are blessing or praying for a corpse to rise up and run for president and all those things like that. Do you think that Cameroonians are really reasonable? How do people, our own brothers, go and stand on the podium and they are organizing and also watching movies, parading movies around, for watching movies, entertaining people to show the legacy of Paul Biya for 42 years? What has Paul Biya? I still need to see who is going to convince me about what Paul Biya has done in 42 years. The residence where he is, the Unity Palace was built by the former president Cameroon Ayijo. What major project? Where is the deep sea port in Limbe? Nothing. Where is the ring road? Nothing. Where are those financial institutions that used to empower the southern Cameroons? They are all gone. CDC used to be the second employer. Where is CDC? Everything has been demolished. What are we standing for? What can we stand and say that we are proud of Cameroon for? Or this government or that is in power? What have they done to our people? But one thing that really, that's one thing that really puzzles me, because I feel so disturbed when people whom we think are educated go and stand like Professor Dr. Diongote, Prime Minister, they go and they are supporting this kind of people. It becomes a problem to me. If you talk about Professor Ngole Elvis, these are people who sing praises every day. The Ngala Gerard, those are people parading everywhere and singing praises for this man. But this guy does not even know them. I like what the former speaker said here about Takanji not even having the phone number of the president. Yes, it's true. He doesn't even have. These are people who are not even connected in any way to the president. But look at how they are singing praises. I really feel sorry for Mr. Ewane. He is really demarcated. He has lost weight. He has lost fluids. I mean, he is really, really dehydrated. You look at him. He's just thinking that what is going on with these people? Why are these people parading me? And he doesn't have any willpower to say no. So it is really pathetic that individuals like this will use this man for their own political gains. I'm sorry to say this.
Yeah, no, you very well articulate the point there. But let us look at one angle to this. Cameroon is able to go out, negotiate, pay ransom to kidnappers in the peninsula. But we have a conflict that has been ongoing for 8 years and counting, almost 9 years now. Cameroon refused to sit down conduct genuine dialogue with other people, citizens they consider theirs. What level of hypocrisy can this be, Comrade Metro?
Comrade Chris, everybody knows the reason why the Republic of Cameroon will not come down to negotiate or to dialogue with the Amazonian or Southern Cameroonian. The reasons are clear. They have no argument. That is just pure, clean, and simple. They have no argument. They have tried all their best to hide. They have not even discussed it in their own discord parliament. I saw again that they have re-elected this Nyat Zipendi, who is bedridden, has been in hospital for how many months now to a year now. Somebody is still sick and is sleeping in the hospital. Then the Senate elects him again. Even Kabaye, who cannot even read a sentence, they elect them. They have not even discussed the matter between the Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon in their parliament. What do you expect of them, Mr. Chris? They are afraid to come to the table. They have no argument. All they have is the bribery. And so bad enough, sadly enough, we have our own people from our own origin, Southern Cameroonians, the likes of Atanga and Ngole, Dongote, Gerard, Keleso Genti, and Tabetan, all. These are the people helping the regime in Yaoundé again to continue to hold our people hostage, killing them. And then they are doing nothing. The point, where I see it coming to an end now is that, well, I don't wish Paul Biya dead. But he has, all of us consider he has attained an age that when somebody reaches that age, I think the next thing people should be thinking of how they are going to celebrate his passing. But one thing is that one day he will go away. And these guys are all now in total panic. Who will defend them? Paul Biya is like the head of this python, that when you look at it, you feel frightened, and so you are bound to stand and then maybe act on his behalf, just be submissive. But now he is going. So all the blacklegs, the enablers, those who are commercial agents of the regime, they are all confused right now. If Paul Biya closes his eyes, maybe I don't think there's even going to be an election, because if you want to look cleanly or deeply, you see that France is now fighting to see who can represent its interests. When once France holds this person, discover this person that can defend their interests in that country, I think Paul Biya is going to step down, and maybe they call for some kind of fast transition or some military takeover. I don't think they will live up to October to organize any election. That's what I foresee there in that country. So for now, well, let them continue to run. But the point is clean and clear. Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia is no longer part of the Republic of Cameroon. I feel pity for some of our people, our own citizens, who are like talking about election. Election for what? Presidential election in the Republic of Cameroon. I asked a question here. I think a legal man like Lisingé did not even listen or answer time, make an attempt to answer. I asked a question. Legally, legitimately, taking that there's no treaty between these two countries, what does a Southern Cameroon has the rights to contest for presidency in the Republic of Cameroon? That is a question pending. I've asked this question to several big minds. Even in television studios in Yaoundé, in Douala, I forwarded the question all over the world. Nobody's attempting to answer that question. Fundi was refused.
I think we will leave that question.
Yeah.
That question
Yeah.
for another day.
That's a simple question. Those who are campaigning, you are campaigning as a Southern Cameroonian to which presidency? Even if you win that presidency, a Republic of Cameroon citizen will come and put a lawsuit against their own cause and say, no, that person is a foreigner, and he has the right to claim, and then he will win if the justice is clear, because there is no treaty of union between these two countries, and you have no right to contest for their presidency. So shame to our people who create parties, register under the Republic of Cameroon institution, and then go and register themselves. We are running a political party in the Republic of Cameroon. You continue to deceive your own people. When a village sends somebody to school, they send you to educate, to study and come and help the people. But our people, our own elites, they come back and go and collect money from Yaoundé in the name of subjugating our people. and then lie in their pockets, enjoy themselves while people are suffering. They are all over the place now. When they come back, they say, they're not all hiding in Yaoundé. They call themselves elite, elite, elite. My head.
Well, I think you raise a very important subject that I'm actually thinking we give it an entire show to discuss that. Should Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian be contesting elections in La République du Cameroon? I will make sure I bring back Mola Lisinge into that conversation in the show. We don't want to wind away time with going back to that, but I appreciate that. It's quite an interesting and an intriguing subject. Before we open the phone line, let's discuss one more issue: the lawsuit between Tapang Ivor and Insalai Emmanuel. I guess finally Insalai Emmanuel may be facing the music. And I want to believe that if Insalai Emmanuel thinks that Tapang Ivor's lawsuit is the only one that is coming, I think he may be deceiving himself, because I see other lawsuits coming up against Insalai Emmanuel here in the USA. But gentlemen, I am interested in the response that Insalai Emmanuel gave to Tapang Ivor's case. When we come back, I will read you Insalai's response to Tapang's case. Please stay put, and I will be right back.
Benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, thanks for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. Again, last week, Tapang Ivor Tanku sued Insalai Emmanuel, who operates a law firm in California for, demanding $100,000 in fines in what he described as crimes against him in the form of defamation from Insalai Emmanuel. Now, you will all recall that in January, Insalai Emmanuel had sent out statements to the White House, to the State Department, and to security agencies in the USA, essentially indicting some of us, yours truly included, for perpetuating crimes, terrorism, and so on and so forth in La République du Cameroun. Tapang Ivor last week was the first person to sue Insalai Emmanuel in the California court, demanding damages worth $100,000. Now, Recently, I think 2 days ago, Insalai Emmanuel responded to Tapang Ivo's lawsuit in this way. This is what he wrote, sent to the Guardian Post. Insalai said, and I quote, I have been informed of a defamation lawsuit filed against me. Let me state this unequivocally. I am not intimidated, nor is my resolve in any way weakened. This lawsuit is nothing more than a desperate and futile attempt to silence my unwavering pursuit of justice for the innocent civilians who have suffered at the hands of separatists and terrorists. Again, that is Insalai Emmanuel responding to Tapang Ivo. He continued, for years, I have dedicated my legal expertise to dismantling terrorist financial networks, exposing those who incite and orchestrate violence, and ensuring that the perpetrators of heinous crimes against innocent men, women, and children are held accountable. My actions are driven, he said, by an unshakable commitment to justice, the rule of law, and the protection of victims. Just this past week, I filed new. Now, this is again Insalai saying that just last week he filed new legal complaints, some other frivolous complaints as usual, of course, with several executive, legislative, and judiciary bodies. He doesn't mention where that was. He said, providing indisputable evidence that Tapang Ivo Tangku is directly involved in terrorism activities. His role in financing, inciting, and planning acts of terror against civilians has been extensively documented. That is, again, Insalai Emmanuel writing, responding to Tapang Ivo. He continues, this lawsuit is nothing more than a smokescreen to deflect from the overwhelming body of evidence against him. Insalai writes, he concludes, let me be clear. No lawsuit will deter me from my mission. No amount of legal maneuvering will erase the crimes committed against innocent civilians. The truth is on my side, he says, and I will continue to work relentlessly to ensure that justice prevails. I have full confidence in the legal system, and I welcome the opportunity to expose the facts. This lawsuit will not protect those responsible for terrorism. It will only shine a brighter light on their actions. Again, gentlemen and ladies, that is Insalai Emmanuel responding to the lawsuit from Tapang Ivo. Now, you will recall that I have been in court. Insalai Emmanuel says he has all the facts, all the proof, all the evidence to every lawsuit that he files. Now, don't forget, Insalai sued me twice and lost twice. And he is not going to win against Tapang Ivo and the rest of the lawsuits which are still in the making. But I'd like to hear what my guests think about this response from Tapang from Insalai Emmanuel. Mola, I would like to start with you. You are the lawyer out there, please. Let me start with you. What do you think about this response from Insalai Emmanuel, please?
I'll start with the general point about all lawyers. Lawyers are allowed to take cases. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes if you refuse to take certain cases, they might sue you for discrimination. In order to deny a case, you have to prove why you don't have to take the case. Because sometimes people might take cases that we might not like. That's a general rule. It's not a rule by me or what, especially in the United Kingdom. Somebody comes and that's it. I must also say this before I answer your point. Salah is my junior man. We went to CPC Mali. We're there in the national dialogue. I can say he's a friend. But let's come out from that one, being a friend. Talking politics or talking about law, I distinguish those two things is different. I have my family, friends who are SDF, CPTM or what, well, that's their problem. So to go back to the point, from the response, you said about what Mr. Salah is talking about. He said he has got the right to fight terrorism, fighting for this. To the best of my knowledge, if you look at Article 8, sub 2 in the Constitution of Cameroon, those are the functions of the president of the country. So maybe the government or the president have delegated his power to him. I don't know. So because at the end of the day, he cannot be saying that he has a right to fight terrorists or what. He's a lawyer. If somebody instructs you to do a case, do your case, but don't put it as if it's the state. I don't know if the government of Cameroon have asked it. Because defamation, yes. Before I sue somebody for defamation too, I must first check as the person got money. Because if you go and win a case, the person haven't got money, you have wasted your time. So those type of civil litigation, you have to know if the person have money. If you just want to go and win and waste your time and energy, it's a different thing. But again, I should say we are being run by La République that have annexed British Cameroon, and everybody try to use and do what they want to do. I don't understand. I cannot point a finger for any person, but to me, at the end of the day, it's not about flexing muscle. I don't know the full detail of the case. I could have given you my opinion, but I cannot stand and say, oh, it's gonna succeed or it's not gonna succeed or whatsoever. But I want to say I respect Salah as a lawyer. He's a lawyer. I will not stand and talk. It's my junior man. I don't use those things. He know what he's doing or what he's saying. But all I can say, from what he's saying, to fight terrorism, to fight is not a job of a lawyer to fight terrorism. If somebody instructs you that this have happened to me, represent me legally, I will understand. But when you say you want to fight terrorism, you want to fight for justice for people, no. My job as a lawyer is not to fight for justice for people or fight terrorism. My job is that, Mr. Chris, you come and see me, you instruct me, this, I have this problem. I advise you in accordance with the law. I am not a terrorism fighter or to fight for justice. If I want to fight justice, I become an activist like myself and I fight for justice. That is how you do it.
All right. Metro Camp, what is your take on this Salah response to Tapang's lawsuit?
My brother, Barrister listening. Look, Salah might be a practicing lawyer, but he's just a mere hunting dog for the regime in Yaoundé. Salah is no different from Atanganji. It's just that Salah has the luxury of operating from without the borders of the Republic of Cameroon in the diaspora. You see, first and foremost, Don Salah maybe he has a mandate from the president of the Republic of Cameroon. We never know because he has never presented it or nobody has ever asked him. But the question is, who is Salah's plaintiff? He's standing there as a defense for the plaintiff, and then we only have the defendant. The plaintiff's attorney. We have a defendant like Tapang. Let's also record that Tapang.
You'll be surprised that in one of the lawsuits that Salah filed against me in California, one of his plaintiffs was Ekema Patrick, the deceased Ekema Patrick.
Let me Comrade Chris here. The question is, who is the plaintiff? Yeah, that's the question. If it is also true that it's Salah who filed a case against Benedict Kwa in the US of the egg of C and Dr. Ayabacho, who is still under detention now. Yeah, the question is, that's why the Norwegian cannot even prove who is the plaintiff. And they are still wobbling themselves behind and asking questions, unable to present a case forward. But though it is their matter, they have stuck their hand in the cookie jar, it is stuck there. And who brought the whole problem in Salah? There's no place you will see that people come in to come and stand that I am the plaintiff against this case. No, but Salah is always there, rushing his mouth, standing ahead, getting, whether he's being paid what type of money or in the end, it's Salah going down. He has never even won a case. Because after Tapang won the case against him in the California as a rape, Tapang became so crazy that he could not believe Tapang won that case because he thought he had all the evidence, because they're all in his head.
Yeah.
This hearing about they are killing people, they are killing people here and there. Can he justify? Can he prove that? He's going ahead to addressing Tapang like maybe a terrorist and some of our leaders like terrorists. But can he prove that they are terrorists? No. So Nsala, he himself is in fire. And this is one of the people that they don't even have Paul Bia's telephone number or any top official. They're only dealing with one top CPDM member who's giving them some chicken coins behind the scene just to go ahead and destabilize the entire atmosphere in the name of defending the country. Nsala himself is in trouble. It is only sad that he comes from our own Amazonia, where his placenta was buried. What a shame.
Well, indeed, a shame indeed. I don't know if Mola Lisinge has anything to add or to subtract from what you've just said.
Well, there is nothing much to add, and I will just emphasize because I remember some more than 20 years. Somebody asked me, "Can you defend a murderer in this country?" I said, "No, the person is innocent until proven guilty." So it is not a murderer until they prove it in court because the essence you take evidence to court is for it to be scrutinized. That's why we have court. So that's it. So to be honest, sometimes I'm saying it is nice when we have this proof, we take it to court so that the evidence should be scrutinized and the judge should see it and make a decision. That's an Anglo-Saxon way. So I welcome that.
All right. Thank you. Gentlemen, we will take a brief break out, and when we are back, I will open the phone lines and let's get a feel of what our listeners out there are thinking. Please stay put, and I will be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level.
All right, thanks for staying put out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now I open the phone lines for you to call, make your contributions. Before you call, remember to shut down the volume of your television if you are watching on television or on a big set. Before you call, shut down the volume so there is no delay, there is no echo in the background. The phone line is right there on screen for you to call. And when you call, let us know where you are calling from as you call. Okay. Let's see where the callers are coming from. All right. Again, once more, the phone line is open on the screen. Let me get to you, Maitre Nikomf. I know we had discussed about having a show that have to discuss the role of these so-called cultural and development groups in Ambazonia's struggle for independence. Because of the emerging stories yesterday or over the week, we couldn't do that. But let me touch on something. We're going to handle that on the whole show of its own. But let me touch on something, and I guess Mola Lisinge will be able to come in there too. Well, recently we saw Frank Beer posters being printed and circulated in Yaoundé, and it seems to be crystal clear at this moment that if Frank Beer is going ahead to print posters to campaign for elections in Cameroon, it is now self-evident that Paul Biya isn't going to be a candidate. Is that the way you look at it?
I've always been certain that come October 2025, Paul Biya is not going to present himself as a candidate. Is all that we see right now is just the CPDM in total panic. They are confused. They don't know who they can select, and they don't even have the powers. And there's big confusion around the entire CPDM working machinery. So now, what I foresee is this. I think France is working very, very strongly behind the scene to see who can step in so that they will defend their interests. And taking that France is losing vastly, very, very fast in Africa. Its colony are all going away. France now is confused. The last place that France want to lose is like with Cameroon. But now they are not sure who would defend their interests there should election come. Is it the opposition? Is it the Frank Biya? Now who would defend their interests? Nobody knows. And for myself as a Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian Comrade Chris, I don't care who wins there, who takes over there. We are no part of La Tribu de Cameroon. And my focus is that let's keep teaching our people, working on how we move forward. Imagine that if we get in the morning breaking news, Biya is no longer, La Tribu de Cameroon has collapsed. What is the way forward for the Southern Cameroon's liberation struggle? What are we going to do? That is very, very important for me. So whatever happens there, whoever comes in power, please, Comrade Chris, it doesn't matter to me. It might be the worst. People think that maybe if Kanto come to the president, we might have chance to discuss and then have a genuine dialogue because he boycotted, claiming that there should be an election. There should be the problem in the southern Cameroon should be solved first. No, I don't trust Kanto, and I don't trust any of them. First and foremost, as I said earlier, there is no treaty of union between these two countries. Why are we so concerned? Why are we fighting so hard to be part of them? Even if amongst us, we still have our brothers, our sisters, comrades, they say, no, we want federate. Must you federate only with Republic Cameroon? You can just be yourself independent and then create your own federation within us. People cannot just try to understand that Republic Cameroon, according to me, is evil when it comes to Southern Cameroon. They have no good intention towards us. They are afraid to come to dialogue, to negotiation, because they know the evil that they have done to our people. And they are going to pay reparation for all of this. That is one of the reasons they are scared to come for negotiation, because we are only negotiating on how they will pay for the reparation of what they have destroyed in our homeland. Finish. There's no any other way out. That's all I can state on this point. So whoever comes to be president of the Republic of Cameroon, that shouldn't be the problem of Southern Cameroonian. I also want to even come back to no, excuse me, comrade. Let me come, because my able friend Mr. Barrister Lisonge is always thinking about the British National Party. I don't know where he intends to carry out election without his party. Is it in the Republic of Cameroon? And he likes this word, the Cameroons. Yes, the Cameroons was finished when the Republic of Cameroon succeeded from the federal formation, from the federal system in 1972. That is, and finally, Paul Biya put the nail in 1985, was it 84 or 85, when he declared the country's name, La Republic of Cameroon. So, where is Southern Cameroon? If La Republic of Cameroon has the right to call itself La Republic of Cameroon, why would Southern Cameroon not have the right to also call its name Southern Cameroon, and then even baptize its name to Ambazonia? We can choose to, we will choose to be called the way we want. Nobody should describe us the way it suits them. So I don't know where you intend to run for office with the national, is it party. What is that their party again? I don't understand, Mr.
British, is
Lisinge.
it
So
British Cameroon's National
yeah,
Party?
yeah, British. Yeah. Well, if you are talking about Cameroon party, maybe you intend to go and lobby in northern Cameroon so that they can succeed from Nigeria, and so we become northern Cameroon and southern Cameroon now to become an entity. That would be a good idea to go, please, Mr. Lisinge. Not anything to do with La Republic of Cameroon. La Republic of Cameroon's borders are frozen. Please. That is the message we should be continue sending out to our people. The borders that Republic of Cameroon secured in 1960, January 1st, they were frozen. Southern Cameroon's borders were not included in their independent border.
Can
And
I
I hear
come in?
somebody was asked a question on the television. This is an African map. Show me the Southern Cameroon on the map. Let
Can I
me
come
make one thing here clear to our people, Comrade Chris and Mr. Lisinge. Any African map without the demarcated borders of the Southern Cameroon is a fake map, because the United Nations issued a certificate of sovereignty to Southern Cameroon upon voting their independence on the 21st of April 1961, period. Some people trying to deceive our people, keep saying that you voted to join us. Yes, we voted. That vote was a recommendation, was an authority to our leaders that go and negotiate the terms of union with the Republic of Cameroon. It's a recommendation vote. Go and negotiate. But so far, the Republic of Cameroon has taken that result to be like a certificate, to be like an agreement.
All right. Comrade, as I said, we have a whole different show to discuss this subject as to whether parties initiated by indigenous Ambazonians should be participating in elections in La Republic of Cameroon. But let me give Mola at least a minute to respond before we call this a night.
Yeah, my point is, you don't take a bullet and give somebody to kill you. And you talk about when we used to do SCNC. That's more than 30 years ago. I learned, I try to be practical in life. And I understand. I live in London, where we used to have IRA, they used to call them terrorists in Ireland. So when you have IRA, they have another people too in Northern Ireland, they call them Sean Payne. He was a political party. So IRA have been fighting, they want to join Ireland, Republic of Ireland. So Sean Payne was using the political reasons. At the end of the day, they had Good Friday Agreement. Sean Payne, the so-called terrorist group, they have to join now to do politics with Sean Payne, the political party. And what happened? They are not in government. They started taking seats. Last year, they have majority in Northern Ireland. Then they say their plan now in 10 years' time is to ask for a referendum to join the Republic of Ireland. The same thing with Scottish National Party that had an act of union to join England. After how many years? They say, no, some people say, Scottish people, we don't want to be here. What did they do? In 1934, they created Scottish National Party. They joined with another people, and in, is it 2000, 2000 and something, they had majority. They are not for decentralization, but they stood for election. They want majorities in Scotland. They are running Scotland to give them a referendum because they have a mandate. And they gave them that mandate, then, but at least the people wanted to stay with the United Kingdom, they won. The Scottish National Party still won independence. But when you go to like the major national dialogue, we went there. What happened? When we go and decide on this, CPDM take it and give it to CPDM. So we have to put ourselves in that state that whenever they give something, whether you say you want independence, take it and don't go to their parliament. That's what Champagne in Northern Ireland does. But when you see, and we can talk here and talk here, but they will keep on giving those things. So there are different ways. My point is, we have different way of fighting. I've learned all over my life. I love to learn. And I know I can sit here and talk when people don't care. But when I stand in front of them, I believe, I am hoping, not planning for presidential election, I'm planning for parliamentary election. I want those seats in British Cameroon, Northwest and Southwest. When we have it, we say we are not going to Yaoundé, they will do us nothing and they will negotiate.
All right. Apparently, we're not having any calls today. I don't know what is going on out there. But gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for being part of the broadcast tonight. We will come back. We have so much to discuss, talk about. We will have another rendezvous to do that. Thank you for being part of the show, sirs.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chris. And thank you also very much, my able friend, Barrister Lisinge.
You're welcome.
All right,
Yeah,
all
thank
right.
you.
Thank you. You have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. That will be all for tonight. We went far and beyond tonight, and I can see that we had close to, over 1,500 people watching live on the social media. I really want to appreciate what I am seeing here. Thank you very much. I look forward to being back on the Friday. We're going to have a great show again on Friday. Thank you for tuning in, and you have a great night.